Hi, this is Lauren Holly Allen, Emergency Management Made Easy with Lauren, with class number 9 in our series. Unfortunately, the title today is Dishonorable Mention. Another true story, but this one did not turn out as well as the other two I have mentioned to you during our last two trainings together. Unfortunately, another targeted violence case study is in the books. On Sunday, June 27th of 2025 at 11 a.m., a Wayne, Michigan man opened fire at Cross Point Community Church. He was shot and killed by church security staff after firing an AR-15 style rifle and a handgun in the church parking lot. One security guard was shot in the leg during the exchange of gunfire. The details of the incident. While unfortunate, we can learn from them. And I am going to utilize this incident to remind you of everything that we have discussed together thus far from the introduction of the class to class 9. Details of the incident. The shooter drove erratically into the church parking lot, exited his vehicle with weapons, and began shooting. A church member struck him with a truck, and security engaged him in gunfire near the front entrance of the church. The church's security team, who are also members of the church, fatally shot the perpetrator. The shooter's mother is a member of the church, and he has attended services a few times in the past year. Authorities believe the shooter was experiencing a mental health crisis and was acting alone. A search warrant executed at the shooter's home revealed additional firearms and ammunition. A mass shooting was averted because of the quick response of the security team and the church member with the truck. We all agree a large-scale mass shooting was averted last Sunday. Let's learn from and look at what the Cross Point Community Church did right. They identified suspicious behavior and prevented the attack from escalating into a mass shooting event. This was a perfect de-escalation technique, The driver of the truck recognized the person was carrying an AR-15 gun when after erratic driving, he exited the vehicle and began shooting. The security guard shot and killed the man. The shooter had attended church with his mother a few times in the past year. I repeat that purposely. He felt comfortable and returned to the church. Obviously, he felt comfortable enough to come back a few times. Lessons learned and something new for you. Remember, the power of hello in safety and security. This is a thing. According to CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, U.S. government, the power of hello is used by security professionals to proactively assess the environment, allowing them to identify and address potential security concerns. Simple hello. By observing, initiating a hello, navigating risk, and obtaining help, personnel can deter potential threats. The power of a smile, a hello, accompanied by a smile can amplify the positive effects, making the interaction even more impactful. Active listening. Lean in. A simple hello can make the difference and can open the door up to further conversation, allowing for deeper connection and understanding. You never know. A visitor, a person, may choose to confide in you if they're in distress. The power of presence, especially yours. Being present and acknowledging others, even with a simple greeting, can make a significant difference in their lives. I know because that's what I do. Anyone who sits to my right on the pew with me, they're gonna receive a hello from me. I want to know who I'm sitting next to too. I want to say hello, and I do. A mental health crisis. Why do people commit violence? I know you're wondering. Why does this happen? Well, you know from my introduction, I am a state licensed psychiatrist assistant and a master's level psychologist. I have worked in a forensic hospital in the training department and private practice. Many of our patients had no previous recorded psychiatric illnesses. However, several patients had suddenly killed one or both parents or others. The judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation. The patient satisfied the criteria for a psychiatric diagnosis. A forensic psychiatrist testified as an expert in judicial matters concerning mental health. As a result of the patient's mental illness, dangerous behaviors, and other factors, the individual is determined unable, not competent, to stand trial in their own defense. They were ordered to remain at the forensic hospital, which is totally different from a regular psychiatric hospital or a state hospital or a hospital ward, a hospital ward for mental illness. A forensic hospital is just for that, people who are a danger to others. And it's due to mental illness. That's the forensic piece of it. They are court ordered at that hospital. What a lot of people don't understand is that person, if they go to regular prison, they may do less time. But in a forensic setting where mental illness is concerned, they may stay longer because of their illness. If they recover and they're able to stand trial and they're well, then the judge takes a second look. Just some added information. There isn't one single cause. For example, violence may be triggered by the following, and I listed some for you, for your understanding, your education, and more than anything, your compassion. Stress. Stress and frustration, for example, from having to wait for help, whereas treatment has been unavailable for them for a myriad of reasons. And we know what they are. We hear about them all the time, where people need psychiatric, need to see a mental health professional, but for many reasons, one may not be available, insurance may not be available, services may not be available, for a myriad of reasons. So I won't digress. Revenge for being fired, laid off, or rejected in the workplace. That's another factor. Family problems or separation from family, divorce proceedings. Job or money problems, fear or confusion, a drug reaction. Remember, you cannot always tell who might commit violence. We don't know. My book, you can write a step-by-step House of Worship Emergency Safety and Security Plan, is available to you if you Google my name, Lauren Holly-Allen, or you go on Amazon. You can find this book for those who want to follow along using the book. My reference pages for mental health and crisis management are page 124. Later in the series, we will discuss precautions you can take. We will. We're not there yet. We will also discuss firearms in worship houses, which is on page 137 for those who own the book. So, quick question. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. You know I'm gonna ask. Have you scheduled your active shooter training for your business or worship house? We've talked about it a few times. It's part of your learning experience. Now I'm giving you reason to do it. Reason to not put it off. The Department of Defense teaches Stop the Bleed and life-saving first aid. The Department of Defense. Write that down. This course should be included in your emergency planning. Active shooter training, and now I'm adding Stop the Bleed. The life-saving first aid. Proactively, you can do the following. Call the following resources for help to get this training started. Ask additional questions. The local police, fire department, the local FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security Fusion Center, Fusion Center of DHS, Department of Homeland Security in the United States. If you are in another country, contact your supporting agencies who you contact regularly during any emergency. And I'm sure they can provide you with information in regard to active shooter training, Stop the Bleed, or in accordance to where you live, what country you're in, and what resources are readily available to you. Have you begun assessing your risk and conducting your self-assessment to determine where you are vulnerable at work and at home? Risky business? Have you begun your risk assessment? Is it complete? Because you can't write your emergency plan until that is done. And And have you begun developing and writing your emergency plan? Are you ready? Not rushing, just teaching, just training, just guiding. I'm just a friend of yours, reminding you. That's all. That's my role, to train and make you aware. If you are a business with less than 10 employees, have you begun verbally teaching, communicating your plans of action during an emergency in accordance to your risk assessment for your employees? You know what your risks are in that business, in that small business, in your office, on the 25th floor, 79th floor. Have you begun in your office of less than 10 people to begin communicating, having a meeting, talking about the risk, what could happen if someone steps off the elevator and comes into your section of your office building? Is there a plan in place yet? Have you begun? Have you begun the risk assessment? Start talking about it. If you're small and large business, in your small and large business, who have you assigned as lead employee when you are absent, when, as supervisor, as boss, administrator? Who have you assigned to be on the campus when you are absent, to be in the worship house when you are absent? Who have you assigned? You own the parking lot. You have several attendants. When you're not there, who is watching? Who will be the person in charge, supervising when you are not there? You know what the risks are because you guys are handling money too in the parking garage. You know what the risks are. What do? What is the protocol? It's only maybe 7 people or less, but you still need to have your plan in place. But you got to know the risk first. Remember we discussed muscle memory? Practice and drill your plan to remember what actions your team, family, hospital, or congregation will take or do during any potential emergencies you have already discussed during the risk assessment meetings. Yeah. Practice and drill your plan to remember what actions your team will take during any emergency, includes your household. Pursue grants to improve security. Lean in, ears open, pencils up, time to write. And I will repeat this. On June 27th, 2025, this past weekend, I posted on my Facebook page. And my Facebook page, you can just, Lauren Holly Allen. The Department of Homeland Security has awarded $94 million in grants to help protect faith-based organizations from targeted violence. These are the details. Ready to write? Okay. If you have questions, please contact capital F as in Frank, E as in Edward, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, FEMA, Office of External Affairs, Congressional Affairs at phone number 202-646-4500 or at FEMA again, FEMA dash congressional dash at FEMA lowercase .dhs lowercase .gov. That's at FEMA FEMA.dhs.gov, congressional dash at FEMA.dhs.gov. Private sector engagement at 202 646 3444 or at lowercase NVEOC Nancy Bill Edward Oscar Cat NVEOC at max.gov. Now, I'm going to go over that again. Pursue grants to improve security. FEMA, FEMA, Office of External Affairs, Congressional Affairs at 202 646 4500 or at FEMA congressional at sign FEMA lowercase .dhs lowercase .gov. Private sector engagement. Private business, not necessarily worship house, at 202 646 3444 or at NBEOC at max.gov. Finally, what to do if an incident occurs on your watch. We're repeating today and we are going over what you've already learned. We're building on what you already know. What to do if an incident occurs on your watch. 1, call 911 immediately, U.S., United States. 2, activate your muscle memory. Know what to do. You're developing a risk assessment right now, or you're beginning to write your emergency plan right now. So you activate that muscle memory. 3, put your pre-planned emergency action plan in motion. Let's go. It's time. 4, every employee, family member, or volunteer who has been assigned an emergency task, job description, not a name, job description, should know how and when to perform it. 5, life-saving procedures, people who are trained to know how should perform them. CPR and stop the bleed. CPR. That should be a part of your plan too, to train your employees. Some may have already had CPR on their another job. Some may, in worship houses, we have nurses. We have nurses in our worship house. We're there on a regular basis. And stop the bleed. We have a MD, at least one that I know of in our congregation. She's there, sings on the choir, she's there most times. So whoever your CPR and your stop the bleed trained people are, find out who they are or get them trained. Or you supervisor, that might be a training you might decide to undertake. Be it less than 10 people in your employ or more than 10 people. Who knows CPR? 6, report the incident to the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as soon as possible in the U.S. Team, remember, you are the help until the help arrives. So let me leave you with my email address again. Prepare before it happens at outlook.com. And Outlook is, I don't know the way it looks, it's capital O-U-T-L-O-O-K, but it doesn't matter. So prepare before it happens at outlook.com for questions. This was a serious training today because we did two things. We reviewed everything that you've learned thus far, and we've given you additional information, especially the mental health aspects, based on a real case study. This is the third real case study. And I am so glad that sorry someone was hurt and someone died, but at least a mass shooting was averted. You are the help until the help arrives. And I'm training you and getting you ready to do just that. Lauren Holly Allen, I'll talk with you next Friday. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming on. Oh, please like my video and subscribe. That helps me to stay on. That helps me tremendously. Like and subscribe. Please do that. Thank you.